Uh-oh. Well, I can hear you. I just don't know why they can't hear us.
Yeah, can they hear us now? I think maybe. Okay, sound. Eric, are you
Fired.
muted? Fired, right? No, I think there we go. Still, are we still muted, or can we hear now?
I can hear me. I don't
Okay,
know
and
why
I
they
can
can't
hear
hear you.
me. Um. Okay, sound
Oh,
levels. Oh, now you're good. Okay,
all
good.
right. There we go. Well,
Oh boy, it's that kind of a season, that kind of a show, I guess. Ian, welcome. It feels like it's been forever since it's been a show with me and you.
I know.
Um, yeah, and I feel like given how bad or given the state of the team right now, I feel like we should have ripped into them a long time ago. So it's good to have you on. Just quickly, what were your initial impressions on the game? What'd you think? What'd you think of the influx of the rookies on the back end, rookies and new guys? What's your thoughts?
I thought it was a good game. It was, going into the season, we knew it was going to be a tough go. And it's been a while since I enjoyed a game as much as I enjoyed tonight's game. And I think if you take anything from this, I mean, if you couldn't enjoy this, then man, like you have to be a masochist to watch this team. Because if you couldn't enjoy tonight, I don't know what there's going to be there for you to enjoy going forward.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you have to really extract the little things out of the game right now as a Sharks fan because it's right now it's all about the little victories. It's about the little things in the season. It's about those first goals by rookies. It's about those shutouts, those milestones, because it's that kind of a season. So I totally agree with you there, and I feel like this was a good game to watch. It was a good, hard fought victory. I think it was a win that the team needed. Um, Again, though, it's the quality of the opponent. I think should all give everybody some pause as
For
to
sure.
as to the win. But I saw some good signs tonight. Put it to you that way.
Yeah, like there I thought look at since getting called out by the coach, Martin Jones has put together a couple of really good games. Tonight he was really good. Like tonight, if he wasn't as good as he was, because the Sharks weren't good in the first period. And if Martin Jones wasn't as good as he was in the first period, that game they go into the second down and probably by a couple. If Martin Jones isn't as good as he is in the first, and he was pretty good through the rest of the game. Like there's a couple of times where he kind of scared me in the third period, but I thought all in all, like Martin Jones since getting called out by Bob Bugner has been really good.
Yeah, no, I think so as well. And we'll go over the first period. So in that first period, Sam Steele, with kind of a fluky goal. It really should be Mario Ferraro there. The goal should be going to Mario Ferraro, but yeah, Sam Steele just kind of puts it onto the crease. It ends up kind of caroming weird off of Ferraro's skate. No, actually, maybe yeah, it was his skate was the first one, and it comes off his skate, goes 5-hole on Jones, and it's 1-0, 50 seconds in, and you're thinking, oh boy, here we go again.
Right.
And honestly, I don't. I think if you're a Sharks fan there, you're just kind of cringing like, oh my gosh, we have seen this time and time again. Is this the same narrative? But I think for that first 10 minutes, I think Anaheim had the majority of the possession play, and Martin Jones really did, put that one behind him and kind of stand on his head for the team because it could have gotten ugly. I mean, they could have scored more than once in that first 10 minutes of the first period.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said, I mean, it could have easily been 3-1 going into the second, if not for Martin Jones. Yeah, I mean, it sucks for Ferraro. I mean, rough night for Ferraro tonight. Just one of those things. Like it's just kind of just crappy luck. Like I don't think Ferraro did anything particularly wrong. It's just sometimes like the puck does some funny things, and that's what it did there. And it didn't help that like no one else knew where the puck was for some reason. Like Brent Burns had no idea where the puck was. Martin Jones had no idea where the puck was. Apparently, like it's just one of those. It's just a weird play, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I totally agree there. It was weird. He boxed out his man in the best, possible way. Positionally, I again, same wavelength as you, did not see anything that stood out to me as abnormal.
No,
And, it just a fluky bounce, and those happen. You can't fault that on Jones. I mean, maybe you would like if because Jones is already down in the butterfly, maybe you'd like it to see him cover his 5-hole, even when the puck is in a low danger chance. Even just having the stick covering the 5-hole. But again, that's nitpicky, and most times, you're going to have a goaltender who can react pretty quickly. But again, no goaltender can ever really understand or expect the kind of bounces that comes off a defenseman's
no,
skate. So
for sure. No, exactly. I mean, that's just it is what it is, right? Like
yeah,
it just, and it's just an unfortunate thing. Like it's just one of those things that just isn't going to go your way, and it's unfortunate, but it happens. And the key is how you respond after that happens. And like I said, it wasn't a great first period for the Sharks, but they held their own.
yeah, no, I agree. I think that they held in there, especially they waved that first initial push by Anaheim, but then in the second half of the first period, they were generating some momentum. They finally got a call, kind of a fluky call, because you end up seeing that the puck ends up hitting the top of the glass right at the very top of the
Right.
dasher, or not the dasher, but the connective part. Yeah,
Yeah.
the connective part of the glass. And, it was not seen by the refs, and it seemed like for the last 2 or 3 games, the Sharks have been getting jobbed on a lot of calls. So it was nice to see one that fell our way.
Mhm.
The first half of that power play, I took away. There was a lot of passing. Still
Yeah,
felt
I
that it
counted.
was.
So I counted the first, but leading up to the first shot came after 12 offensive zone passes, and then the Leonard goal came after 13 offensive zone passes.
Yeah. So basically, that second power play unit just came on, passed it once, and they scored.
Yeah,
And so that begs the question then: are there too many pieces that defer on that first power play unit? Meaning, do you think that the guys are just so selfless, or wanting to set up their teammates, that they overpass, or do you think it's a structural issue with
I
the
think
power
it's a
play?
structural issue. I think it's sometimes they look for the perfect shot.
Yeah. So this coming in from Bob Bugner, we had much different look on the power play with Burns up top, one of the better ones of the year. Um, yeah, I agree. I think overall tonight it took away from the power play that the movement was good. The movement off the puck, I mean, was much better. I thought tonight it didn't seem as stagnant. Too much crisscross passing, though, for my taste. I think, at a maximum, these guys should be on the power play 4 passes, and then you got to get a shot off.
I think, yeah, like I feel like the Sharks, some like the problem that I've had with their power play is they've done good at possessing the puck. They have the puck, but it just, for all the possession, they have so little to show for it in shots on goals. Yeah, you obviously you want to see them take some more shots on the power play. But credit to Leonard, took a hell of a shot to tie up the game.
Yeah, on that second power play unit that came out, it was Leonard, Balsers, Ferraro, Timo, and I want to say, boy, who was on that other side? Gambrell? Was it Gambrell? But yeah, I just thought that second unit just, again, had a little bit more authority with the puck, maybe a little bit more, a little less finesse, and a little bit more meat and potatoes. And you know you're rewarded by, no, it was Donato, because Donato was screening.
Mhm.
That's right, it was
That was
Donato.
Donato.
Yeah, doing a hell of a job screening Gibson, because that shot by Leonard was not the strongest shot I'd ever seen go
It
into a
was
net.
but it was a good, like it was a good shot though. Like it
Oh
was like
yeah.
shooter shot, to put it in, like to put it where he put it, like just seeing eye shot, like just really good shot. Hope we see more of that from him for sure. Because, yeah, it was. I mean, it was just nice. Like it was, it wasn't the perfect shot. Like obviously, like it had to get through, but I just want to see more shots that they don't have to. I mean, obviously, you don't want to just shoot it into the goalie's glove. I get that. Shoot in the goalie's glove without him seeing anything, and pray you're gonna beat him unscreened or whatever. Like I understand, like you don't want to just shoot to shoot, because that's problematic. I just like to see them take a few more chances rather than waiting for like the perfect shot.
Yeah, no, I think that is similarly, I think the similar echo that I have to that. I think that they're also most effective when they're moving the goalie laterally. I think we've
For
seen
sure.
on the power play when they're able to push that puck left to right, and the perfect example was Burns to Hurdle, and Hurdle just, man, that I think that pass came in just a little bit too hard for Hurdle to handle, but you could see where they just shifted Gibson, and if Hurdle's got a full torque on that, it's a goal. So, I like seeing them move the goalie left to right, and getting good screens. And Donato has been a pleasant surprise. Very much a big motor of the team right now. You can never fault the guy for the effort. So, yeah, I've been pretty impressed with Donato's game. So kind of a half assist for Donato there. But, yeah, the UMass boys, John Leonard from Mario Ferraro and Timo Meyer. And I actually posed this question over to Darren Stevens. This is, to me, the most USHL / collegiate talent we've seen most on a Sharks team in any given year, any given roster size. So I think they have, to my count, it's five.
I wouldn't surprise
guys.
me.
Yeah,
It wouldn't
five.
surprise me.
Yeah, 5 collegiate guys, and I believe it's 6, USAHL / collegiate guys. So I'd be interested to see if that's the most on the team, but they've been mining heavily out of college, and it's paying dividends. Gambrella's been looking good this year, and I also think that Ferraro has picked up where he left off from last year, and Leonard, it's coming. I think it's a work in progress, but you can see him developing. You can see him getting a little bit of confidence every day, and that first goal, I think, will definitely get the monkey off his back, so to speak. Well,
Yeah.
Going into that second period, the person needing to get the monkey off the back the most was Kevin Labanc. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
He needed to score a goal like nobody's business, and he just puts the puck to the net while he's crashing into the boards. He does a flip shot to bank it off of Gibson, and goes, puts the Sharks up 2-1. And those are the kinds of things when we see Kevin Labanc start to pull him out of a slump, like we did last year. We saw him pull himself out of a slump. It's when he's most creative, right? It's
For
when
sure.
it's when he's most creative and when he's driving play north south. You know what I mean? And what did you see from that line tonight, Ian?
I thought that line was really good tonight. Like, it's nice because there was a little bit where guys were, it's nice that we're taking pictures off milk cartons finally. Tomas Hurdle's been off the milk carton for the last couple of games. Couture 5 goals in his last 7. So it's nice. Lebank was another guy who's been kind of on the milk carton for the longest time probably. But I thought he had a really good game tonight. Like for as far as games, like you want to see guys respond to getting called out, which the Sharks did get called out by their coach the last game, after the last game. And it's nice to see some guys, especially, some guys responding, especially guys that you've been really, hard, like justifiably hard on.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I guess, well, let's go to Darius Naro. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it. for all 45 of you watching, we really appreciate it. You guys know the deal. So if you get more than, let's say there's 45 watching now, so if you get more than 23 likes on this video, so you need, by my estimation, eight more likes, and we'll get to pull out your favorite segment. But only if we get those likes, ladies and gentlemen. But again, Darius Naro, thank you so much for the super chat.
For sure.
It goes towards your tax dollars at work going to upgrade the show. So, okay. Elephant in the room time, I guess, because this team was down some defensive help, and it seems like the whipping boy of the season so far, and include me on the people whipping, Erik Karlsson wasn't in the lineup today. And did you notice a difference? I'm just going to ask it point blank.
Okay, I was hoping to save this for later after we cover the third, but I think as good as this game was, it's a very dangerous thing to do to take too much out of it. Like, at the end of the day, it's one game. Is Karlsson out? Sharks are good now? Maybe, but so was Šimek. Šimek was out too. He's been, racking up some minuses there too. It's hard, right? Because there's so many things that you could come away with here. You can say, yeah, you can be, the funny thing to do would be like, yeah, Karlsson's out and the Sharks are great now. Right. But let's remember, this is the Anaheim Ducks. The Anaheim Ducks are not a good team. Let's also remember they got called out by their coach and probably, wanted to respond. And I think you saw some guys did respond tonight. Is it not that it's because Erik Karlsson was out of the lineup? It's one game. I thought, the young guys did good I thought the young guys did good. Talk to me when we go through this stretch. If we win a bunch of games, then talk to me then, and we'll talk about whether Erik Karlsson out of the lineup, good, bad, whatever. It's one game. There's so many. I understand it's the easiest thing to do, and if for the people that want to whip, that's fine. I get it. You do you. But for me, it's one game. I'm not drawing any massive conclusions from one game. I can draw conclusions from all the games I've watched so far, but I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
Yeah. No, I think we've got to hold the brakes on the Erik Karlsson talk. I mean, there's just been, it's been in the media lately and on TSN. It's been plastered across pretty much all the Shark sphere, right? I mean,
sure. I get it, but I'm just I understand. And if that's what you took from this game, that's cool. I mean, you do you.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it though. It's just I try, the thing I try to be as balanced as possible when I come on here, because, otherwise why be on here? What's the point? If you know what I mean?
Right. No, I mean,
so I don't want to draw. Yeah, the Sharks did good and it's a good game, but is it because Erik Karlsson was out of the lineup? Maybe, but it could be 100 other things. It could be that Martin Jones just outperformed John Gibson tonight.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think you're right. I will say this though, the power play looked better. I mean, the power play looked like it was a little less stagnant, and I think you saw more.
But the first unit was still Globetrotters bullshit.
Yeah. I'll agree with that. I don't know, man. It's just something that just seems comfortable with Karlsson lately. To me, he seemed like a guy who was just happy to be there. I saw a guy that, when somebody would call him out, he would occasionally, try to do something there. here or there, but he doesn't seem like a guy who's really bought into the Bugner system. He doesn't
A
seem
lot of
like,
guys don't look like they bought into the system though. That's the problem. Like
yeah,
the team defense has been bad. Like I'm not trying to like just completely white knight Erik Karlsson here. Erik Karlsson has played some better hockey. Like I've watched Erik Karlsson play some better hockey than he has this season. But it's like Erik Karlsson can maybe not have had the best games, but the team defense can also be bad. Like these things, multiple things can be true.
true at the same
And I
at the
feel
same
like
time. Yeah.
exactly. And I feel like I understand why Erik Karlsson's such a lightning rod, but I don't think that's the whole story. That's the tip of the iceberg on this team. And like an iceberg, like anything else with an iceberg, there's
He's
a lot more going on under the waves.
Yeah, symptom of a larger problem, maybe.
Right.
Yeah, I think, the term that I put out there the last few days or the last few games was the country club atmosphere. To me, that's what this team kind of had reeked of. It just seemed like a bunch of guys who had long contracts who were just happy to be cashing a check. And tonight was a little bit more of a workman effort, a good step in the right direction, but we're going to need to see this consistently. We're going to need to see this consistently, and somebody who's becoming a little bit more consistent in that second period was Logan Couture. He gets a 7th on the season, and it's unassisted. So you're going up into that third period where you had the issues of the second period, the much maligned second period for the Sharks, but you escape from it with a 3-1 lead, and you're going into that third period. And you thought, okay, the Sharks are in a good spot. But then just right as we feel a little bit comfortable with this team, that we feel a little bit comfortable with where they're at and how they've played, Max Comtois, a kid, I mean, he's just on fire right now with his 7th, of the year. And this one, again, came on off of Ferraro's stick.
Bad night for Ferraro.
Yeah. But again, like, you can't, and in defense of Ferraro, you can't. If I was a coach and I saw that my defenseman deflected it in because he was trying to put his stick in the way, I say, you know what, 9 times out of 10, that's going to deflect a different way, and
For sure.
You want your stick there. You want the stick in that position. So, yeah, it was a bad bounce. It sucked, but again, Martin Jones shored up, especially in the latter half of the third period when Anaheim was kind of all over the Sharks again. And I felt that the team's defensive structure was okay. A little Keystone Cops-ish for me at times. I felt they were a little laissez-faire in their own zone, especially trying to break it out. But better. And again, I think we continually qualify this game as it's against Anaheim. And again, that's for good reason, because Anaheim's offense is just anemic. But
yeah, like Anaheim's not a good team. Like they're not. Like, and that's why it's like I don't. Is there any big picture things I can draw from this game? Not really. Like bad teams win games sometimes.
Yeah,
the Sharks are a bad team.
Yeah.
Like that hasn't changed. My mind hasn't changed on that. It's not like they won this game and Martin Jones had a couple good games in a row and it's like strap in, guys, we're going to the playoffs. No, like they won a game and it's and I enjoyed it. It was there was time, like I got right into this game, which going into this game I didn't. I thought I was just gonna entertain myself by being snarky on Twitter and then coming on here and probably trying not to have a meltdown for the third straight show. So I I enjoyed this game, but again, it's one game. It's all this talk about, it's good to get a win on the team you're chasing. Chasing to what?
Right. Chasing to what?
Missing the playoffs? Well, great. We can all golf together, except for, it's another team like the Kings where they're going to be better before we're good again. That's the sad part.
Yeah. Right. I mean, not only that, but if we're better and, farther up in the mushy middle, that's just a worse draft pick. So it kind of screws you over in the end. So, it is what it is. But I guess
Right.
we'll run through.
Enjoy it for what it is. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
enjoy the game for what it is, but like, I wouldn't, it's one game. We've watched a lot of games this season so far. This is the second regulation win that the
Yeah.
team has.
Yeah. I mean, if they come out and they beat St. Louis that first game on the road
Oh,
trip.
okay, fine. If they go and they roll over Vegas and St. Louis and Colorado, we'll come back and we'll have a conversation because there'll be more games under our belts and we can discuss that change of events. But
Yeah.
for now, it's one game against Anaheim.
Yeah.
Everybody wins eventually.
Yeah, what a blind
I'm
squirrel
not trying to be
finds
a
the nut.
downer. I'm just trying to be let's be real here.
Yeah, the blind squirrel finds the nut every once in a while, right? But I mean, so the moments that you're talking about, one that really cherish. I mean, just coming up right here, John Leonard. I'll probably give the puck to my parents. I haven't checked on my phone yet. Leonard on his first NHL goal. And those are the types of moments that you have to extract out of the season. And
For sure, yeah. Again, yeah. It's seeing guys like that get their first goal. I mean, that's awesome. Like you need moments like that because we knew going in this was going to be a long season.
Yeah. And again, you could just see the pure joy on his face. The other guy that I love watching, I mean, we've talked about it quite a bit, but just the celebrations is Mario Ferraro. He just loves it when his team scores, and he's just I don't know, man. I get captain vibes all over that kid. I just love the way that
Mario,
yeah, just love the way that he presents himself. He just seems like the guy that you would want to go to war with. So, good on the UMass boys for hooking up for Johnny's first goal, and hope that's the first of many in his Teal career, right? So.
Did you guys thumbs down me? Did you really? You can be honest. You can say you thumbs down me. It's fine. I'll get it. I won't get butthurt. I promise.
Okay, all right. We got to get over 30 though. Over 30, and then we'll whip out the reach around. We get a mention at the 23, but you get the graphic at 30 people. All right, you got one more like. Come on now. All right, so let's go over the ice times over on the forward side. Gambrell clocking in at 16 minutes, 31% on the faceoffs. Vander Kane, 20 minutes tonight. He took, I think, maybe one or two faceoffs, 100% in the faceoff circle. 1 assist +2. Stefan Nason, 9 minutes, 37 seconds. You got Patrick Marleau, 12 minutes, 6 seconds, 54% on the draw. Donato, 13:29, 50% on the draw. You got Timo Meier, 16:47. That seems a little low to me. 1 assist with a -1.
There's a guy who needs to start consistently being better. If you want to talk about milk carton players, Timo Meier on the milk carton.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, we're over 32. We get the reach around, people. All right, so Logan Couture, 18 minutes. That's good to see Logan coming back down to earth because he was clocking in over 20 for a little bit. 53% on the draws. Of course, 1 goal and 1 assist tonight. John Leonard with 12 minutes. Got a goal. Tomas Hertl with 16 minutes tonight. 80% on the draw. Kevin Labanc, 18 minutes +1 and 1 goal. Matt Nieto, 12 minutes. Balcers, 14 minutes. Let's talk about Balcers because I think he's got some underrated vision, and I think he's got some very, very creative type offense in his arsenal. The one thing that I think I need to see consistently more from him is his shot. He's got a good shot, but he's had a few different whiffs, and it seems like maybe puck tracking might be a little bit of an issue for him. But he seems to put himself into good positions. Seems to always sniff around the slot, kind of coming in diagonally, and just, always kind of in and around it. So I've liked his game, and I like him up there with Tomas and with Timo. What did you see from Balcers tonight, Ian?
Yeah, I like Balsers. Balsers is a guy that I really like. And it's unfortunate that, he seems to be in this rotation of guys that keeps coming in and out of the lineup. But I've liked what I've seen from Balsers. I've liked what I've seen from Gregor. I've liked what I've seen from Leonard. So it's unfortunate that, like again, these guys keep getting kind of rotated around. It was nice to see Stefan Nason get in today, although I didn't really notice him much, but it was nice that he won this round of Who Wants to Be a Sharks fourth line player.
Two
Um,
shots on goal, though. I mean, two
yeah,
shots on goal, 9 minutes, 37 seconds. So
yeah. I
it
mean,
was okay.
Nason's a guy who you're not gonna notice his game,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
right?
the
Like,
best you notice is him taking out players, being physical. That's what he brings. That's what he
yeah,
needs to be
he's
consistent
physical.
with.
He's a good defensive player. If you do notice him, it's probably because he screwed up, which he doesn't do very often.
Right.
He's a very steady defensive forward. But back to Balsers. Yeah, I like Balsers. Balsers was a guy when they drafted him. I thought, this is a guy whose game was going to translate really well to North America, despite being a guy who played over in Europe. He's got to be a little stronger on the puck, though. He coughed up the puck a few too many times tonight for my liking, and probably a few too many times for Bob Bugner's liking tonight. But I like him,
Yeah.
and I think he's more than a guy.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he's got some offensive upside and some offensive instincts that it would be nice to see flourish. So, going over on the defense, because boy howdy, it was kind of a who's who of who's on defense tonight. But Frederick Klassen,
Mhm.
9 minutes of ice time tonight. One shot on goal, one hit, one block, one giveaway in his Sharks debut. This was a guy that I pegged as an Erik Karlsson favor kind of thing, because he had already played with Karlsson a little bit in Ottawa, and it seemed they had kind of a Swedish connection. I'm wondering if this was done for Erik's sake.
Mhm.
So this was a guy that I thought might be interesting to see what he might bring to the table. So it was good to see him in there. I liked his physicality.
I thought like the young guys went in and they handled business well enough, right? Like
Yeah.
they're not obviously it's obviously it's good when you can come in without expectations.
Yeah, for sure. Mario Ferraro, he's got one assist, a -1, of course, 2 shots on goal, 2 hits, clocking in at 23:51 ice time. Good to see the kid responding really well to the minutes. Mark-Edward Vlasic, zeros across the board insofar as goals, assists, shots on goal, hits. He's got one
Yeah,
block.
I didn't really notice Vlasic tonight, and
That's a
lately
good
that's a
thing.
good thing too.
That's a good thing. Yeah, exactly. 24:45. Boy, that's a lot of minutes though. You gotta wonder. I know that you're a little shorthanded on the back end, but Boogie, you gotta spread the love, especially with this sprint. But anyhow, going forward,
Yes.
Nicholas Malosh, he had 2 shots on goal, 1 hit, 10 minutes, 39 seconds ice time. Looked okay to me. Didn't
Yeah,
seem.
like they were fine. They
Yeah,
weren't like they didn't do anything egregious. They were fine, right? Again, the joys of having no expectations. Like,
yeah. Who stood out for me though in a positive way is Nick Kanizhov. I think this kid is really really coming into his own, and with the increased ice time, you can just see him learning out there, and just getting better every game. And as a rookie defenseman, that's the most you can ask for, right? A guy who can absorb the game, who can keep the game in front of him. He's got a wicked wrister when kind of like a little bit more than a slap shot, or a little less than a slap shot, but a little bit more than a wrister.
yeah,
It's kind of that tweener shot, and boy, he did it twice where basically he almost caught Gibson napping because of the weird carom, and then I think it happened to be in the third period. He kind of takes a pass from the boards and just kind of whips it right on net, and I just like the way that he shoots the puck with the authority. He plays big, he plays like a big man.
Yeah. I
Skates
see,
well.
I didn't really know what to think of him coming into the season. I didn't really. He's a guy who's grown on me. I wasn't really too sure what we were gonna get with him coming into the season. I was like, I don't know if this is gonna be good or not. But actually, he's really grown on me. And I think as long as I think as long as they don't have to put him into situations that he doesn't belong in, which might be difficult with both Schmidt and Carlson out. But I feel like as long as let him come along. But he's a guy who's definitely benefited from not being in the rotation of forwards like that he's come. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's a guy who's definitely benefited from getting that consistent ice time, and it's you'd hope that you would see Boogie kind of pick some guys that he really likes and see if they can have the same effect on some of the forward groups. I think he's really benefited from that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And then we're getting a fight in the chat over how to pronounce Nicholas Malosh or Malash or Malashi or I have no idea. But whatever his name is, we know that the back end they're definitely growing in front of our eyes. But yeah, I think that the ice time for Kernizov is nothing but a good thing, and I like to see more from him. So that's good to he's responding well. Brent Burns, 26 minutes, 26:46. Again, I mean, I don't know how many times I can say it, but he's gonna burn out his high end horses, man. God, almost half the game. That's not good. But it is what it is. When you only got one top dog, I guess he kind of dictates the ice time for everybody, and it kind of trickles down from there. So,
For sure.
Yeah, Martin Jones, 25 of 27 shots saved. It was a .929 save percentage. Again, kept them in that first half of the first period. Kept them in the last half of the third period. Bounced back from a Vegas game that I thought he could have been better in a couple of goals. There were a couple of stinkers in that game, and really bounced back nicely. So that was good to see.
I mean, look at there's times where Martin Jones has certainly lost the Sharks some games, but tonight he's certainly won them one.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Ian. Well, I guess we're gonna go around the league now and do the favorite of everybody's.
The premier stand.
Have the goddamn common courtesy to give him a reach around.
Yes, you know it. You love it. The courtesy that keeps on giving, the reach around. All right, so Monday night tonight, you're chocked full of NHL games. Blues and Coyotes. Coyotes beat the Blues 1-0. Islanders beat the Sabres 3-1. Senators.
Sabres. So on that Sabres, the Sabres did not have a shot on goal in the third period.
Oof. That is rough. Paging Jack Eichel out of Buffalo. Paging Jack Eichel out of Buffalo.
That's just, that team is such a mess.
Oh my goodness. And they have such good fans, and their ownership are good too. I mean, that's just it's a good franchise that just has fallen on some rough times, man.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know what it is like there. It seems like every time you think they should turn a corner, they just don't. And like that's what, fortunately, it's like Edmonton for the longest time. You thought, okay, yeah, now they've got guys. Now they got guys.
Yeah.
Like, don't they have Taylor Hall too?
Yeah, they have Taylor Hall.
How's this team not scoring goals?
Yeah, I know. I mean, it should be scoring goals at will. So I don't know, but again, it just really crappy for that franchise. But anyhow, we gotta move past them. Senators topple the Maple Leafs, with an incredible third period by Ottawa and trap game written all over it. And our own Jumbo, gets a goal, funnily enough, but it wasn't enough, man.
Leafs were up 5-1 in this game before they choked it away.
Is that worrying to you, or is that just trap game? Maple Leafs gonna Maple Leaf?
I think there's some teams, no matter how bad you are, you're gonna play other teams really hard. Like remember when the Sharks were really good and the Kings weren't, but those Kings Sharks game were always competitive.
Yep.
There's like because there's a I think there's a rival. Like guys get up for those games.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. I think
Yeah, definitely.
Or you could just take a one game sample and be like, yeah, the Senators are making the playoffs, the Leafs aren't.
Hurricanes put the kibosh on the Blue Jackets 7-3. Oh my goodness, quite a bit. But of note, Brock McGinn with 2 goals. Interesting. So Carolina 10-3, looking like Carolina's gonna be a good one to watch. Over in the great state of Florida, the Panthers beat the Lightning 6-4. Interesting score.
Panthers are wild this year. I remember like I was on the show the other day and I was like, and they're talking about this game coming up being good, and I'm like, why is this game going to be good? And I didn't look at the standing. Like I haven't. The one crappy thing about everything being all divisional, like I understand why, like why things are the way they are, but one of the things is like I'm not watching a lot of other teams because it's like the Sharks aren't going to play the Panthers, so why am I gonna why do I care what the Panthers are doing, right? Like I have finite numbers of hours to watch hockey, so I'm finding I'm watching a lot of hockey in the West Division, but not really a whole lot of anything else. But yeah, Florida's apparently a team suddenly, so good on them.
Yeah. We go over to 2 teams that we care nothing about. Blackhawks beat the Red Wings 3-2. This one was interesting too. Jets beat the Oilers 6-5. The Jets, the Oilers had Mike Smith coming back. They thought, maybe he might shore up that leaky goaltending, but no. He ends up giving up a 6 spot, and boy, howdy. The Oilers, you talk about another team that's just the embarrassment of riches, and yet they just cannot figure it out.
Well, they have no goalie. Like their goaltending's terrible. Their defense isn't fantastic. I mean, this is a team that has scored one. Like I think as far as like teams go, they might have scored more goals than anyone else so far. Like as a team in the league, I'm just glancing through quick to see if that's accurate. It looks pretty accurate. But unfortunately, they've also allowed, almost the same number of goals. I think they've scored 60 goals as a team this season, but they've allowed 58. You're not going to win hockey games like that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree. And again, you can have, the second coming of Wayne Gretzky and still, lose games because of the, poor goaltending.
Well, you can't do everything, right? Like it's like hockey's not basketball.
Can he suit up the pads?
Maybe, but you know what I mean? Like hockey's like you need it's still a team sport. Like you can have the best player in the world, and the Oilers probably do. You could argue
they have probably the two best players in the world right now with how Leon Draisaitl's playing.
Draisaitl's really good too, yeah. So I mean, it just goes to show like it's just because you have one guy is not a Stanley Cup winner make.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and then the Flames are just they are just piling onto the Canucks' woes at this point. They beat the Canucks 4-3. The Canucks.
Yeah, goaltending optional in the North tonight, apparently.
Yeah, and again, another team you had so much high hopes for him. I mean, what has happened to Elias Pettersson, man? I mean, he just looks like he's falling off a cliff.
This is another team. Well, no, it's this team. This team is not like as much as I've been a guy who used to just like bag on, I think other than Martin Jones, who was my favorite punching bag for the longest time, Jacob Markstrom. But like the last couple of seasons, Markstrom jumped ship. And I mean, look, I don't think anyone's allowed more goals this year than the Canucks.
Yeah. Yeah. And a team that we frankly expected a lot more from. So
like they've, it's not like they're not scoring goals. They've scored a ton of goals. The problem is that they've allowed 71.
Yeah. Yeah, and you wonder, what are they going to have to ship out in order to really shore up that back end and shore up that defensive structure? Or is it time for Travis Green to go?
I don't know. I mean, it's it's hard because it's not a team that I've watched a ton of, and I don't know. I could make comments, but they wouldn't be based on anything other than like what other people have said on Twitter. So I don't want to go into it because I'm not sure exactly what the problem is, but clearly not bringing back, Markstrom and letting Tyler Toffoli go hasn't looked so good either.
Yeah, and this is a team that, thanks Richard Delavos, is they've also played 19 games.
Yeah, that's rough. Ooh, yikes.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of those cases where they're going to run out of runway when they.
Well, no, I mean to the amount of goals they've let in. I mean that makes a lot of sense. But even still, yeah, I guess 19 goals, okay. I'm looking at again. Usually the teams are all like pretty even, but yeah, that's a lot of games. So maybe not as many goals as I advertised.
Yeah. Ownership gave statement confidence in Green and Benning, so one of them is being fired or both.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a tiger.
Yeah, usually the vote of confidence is the kiss of death. But unless you're Doug Wilson, apparently.
Unless you're Doug Wilson, right, for sure. All right, Ian. Well, I think we've pretty much wrapped it around, or reached it around the NHL. Was there anything that caught your eye today, or pretty much just let's wrap it up and put a bow on it?
I think you probably put a bow on it. I think we're good.
Okay, yeah. So interesting night in the NHL. Sharks go ahead and get that win. Finally, in regulation, it seems like forever since a regulation win. And, coming back with a better effort, I think, than they had against Los Angeles, certainly. And Vegas, I thought the effort was there, but the polish wasn't. So, it's good to see them execute a little bit more cleanly tonight. But again, it's a one-game sample size. It's against Anaheim. We got to see what they bring up against St. Louis, because that's going to be interesting, and how they manage themselves and how they manage the game against St. Louis will definitely tell you a lot about this team. It either tell you that the team can lock down defensively and be, a team that can win 3-2, 2-1, or it's going to get out of hand, and it's going to get out of hand very quickly. Though that's kind of my predictions of how that game might go. So I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, because here's the thing, right? Like like you look in the standings, right, and you see, okay, they're in 6th, but Colorado's only played 12 games.
Yeah,
Minnesota's only played 11.
All right. Well, John, thank you so much for the super chat donation. We appreciate it, buddy. And
yes, thanks, guys.
Yeah. In case you missed it, you can find us again on all of the social media. That would be Apple Podcasts, Google Play, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeart. And, of course, you can catch it all at tealtownusa.com. Got some great articles up there. Got some, great info as well. You also get to see all of the replays of the shows. So that is awesome. Ian, final thoughts and where the people can find you.
You can always find me at Ian Blogs Hockey on the Twitter machine, where you can just see me making all kinds of snarky comments. Aside from that, final thoughts, like I said, enjoy it for what it is. Like, I'm not saying don't enjoy tonight. Enjoy tonight, because I don't know how many times we're going to enjoy the night after a Sharks game. So definitely enjoy it. But again, it's one game. Keep your expectations in check.
For sure. All right. Well, we appreciate all the support. Of course, you can go ahead and always give us a super chat donation, but you can also find us on the Venmos too, at Teal Town USA. We appreciate it there too, because those are not. We don't have to give any cuts to the Googles, so that's that's definitely appreciated. I'm at Eric Landi, ErikLandi on all of the social media garbage. As far as the final thoughts, let's take this in stride. Let's enjoy the little bits, and let's see where this thing goes. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you after the next game in St. Louis.